Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Oh, both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
Yes, both sides of the story. Oh, both sides of the story. Oh, both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
Make every day special. Own it. Enjoy it. Bask in the glory of life. Appreciate the gift of your own life.
Ladies and gentlemen of the class of 99, wear sunscreen. If I could offer you only one tip for the future, sunscreen would be it. The long-term benefits of sunscreen have been proved by scientists, whereas the rest of my advice has no basis more reliable than my own meandering experience. I will dispense this advice now. Enjoy the power and beauty of your youth. Oh, never mind. You will not understand the power and beauty of your youth until they've faded. But trust me, in 20 years, you'll look back at photos of yourself and recall in a way you can't grasp now how much possibility lay before you and how fabulous you really looked. You are not as fat as you imagine. Don't worry about it, or worry, but know that worrying is as effective as trying to solve an algebra equation. The real troubles in your life are apt to be things that never crossed your worried mind, the kind that blindsides you at 4 p.m. on some idle Tuesday. Do one thing every day that scares you. Sing. Don't be reckless with other people's hearts. Don't put up with people who are reckless with yours. Floss. Don't waste your time on jealousy. Sometimes you're ahead, sometimes you're behind. The race is long, and in the end, it's only with yourself. Remember compliments you receive. Forget the insults. If you succeed in doing this, tell me how. Keep your old love letters. Throw away your old bank statements. Stretch. Don't feel guilty if you don't know what you want to do with your life. The most interesting people I know didn't know at 22 what they wanted to do with their lives. Some of the most interesting 40-year-olds I know still don't. Get plenty of calcium. Be kind to your knees. You'll miss them when they're gone. Maybe you'll marry, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll have children, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll divorce at 40. Maybe you'll dance the funky chicken on your 75th wedding anniversary. Whatever you do, don't congratulate yourself too much, or berate yourself either. Your choices are half chance. So are everybody else's. Enjoy your body. Use it every way you can. Don't be afraid of it or what other people think of it. It's the greatest instrument you'll ever own. Dance. Even if you have nowhere to do it but in your own living room. Read the directions, even if you don't follow them. Do not read beauty magazines. They will only make you feel ugly. Get to know your parents. You never know when they'll be gone for good. Be nice to your siblings. They're your best link to your past and the people most likely to stick with you in the future. Understand that friends come and go, but with a precious few, you should hold on. Work hard to bridge the gaps in geography and lifestyle, because the older you get, the more you need the people you knew when you were young. Live in New York City once, but leave before it makes you hard. Live in Northern California once, but leave before it makes you soft. Travel. Accept certain inalienable truths. Prices will rise, politicians will philander, you too will get old. And when you do, you'll fantasize that when you were young, prices were reasonable, politicians were noble, and children respected their elders. Respect your elders. Don't expect anyone else to support you. Maybe you have a trust fund. Maybe you'll have a wealthy spouse. But you never know when either one might run out. Don't mess too much with your hair, or by the time you're 40, it will look 85. Be careful whose advice you buy, but be patient with those who supply it. Advice is a form of nostalgia. Dispensing it is a way of fishing the past from the disposal, wiping it off, painting over the ugly parts, and recycling it for more than it's worth. But trust me on the sunscreen. Ladies and gentlemen of the class of 99, wear sunscreen. If I could offer you only one tip for the future, sunscreen would be it. The long-term benefits of sunscreen have been proved by scientists, whereas the rest of my advice has no basis more reliable than my own meandering experience. I will dispense this advice now.
2021 to 2030 is the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, and the Decade of Action for Road Safety. It's the 25th day of the 6th month of 2021, the International Year of Peace and Trust, the International Year of Creative Economy for Sustainable Development, the International Year of Fruits and Vegetables, the International Year for the Elimination of Child Labor, and the International Year of Health and Care Workers. Put another way, it's the 25th day of the first month of the 2021 Atlantic hurricane season. In this Disaster Risk Reduction Month, Road Safety Awareness Month, Brides Month, and Pride Month. In the United States, it's National Immigrant Heritage Month, National Caribbean American Heritage Month, and Caribbean Cuisine Month. Still in the US, June is being observed as Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month, Cataract Awareness Month, Myasthenia Gravis Awareness Month, Aphasia Awareness Month, Congenital Cytomegalovirus Awareness Month, Migraine and Headache Awareness Month, National Safety Month, Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder, PTSD Awareness Month, Scoliosis Awareness Month, and Men's Health Month. We're all almost at the end, or just about coming to the end, of Caribbean American Legislative Week, Helen Keller Deafblind Awareness Week, and Productivity Week here in Jamaica. It's Fatherland Liberation War Day, commemorating the start of the North Korea. That's the Korean War in North Korea. Independence Day in Mozambique, a National Day in Slovenia, and a Statehood Day in Croatia. It's Day of the Seafarer. More in a moment.
Think of it, it's the greatest instrument you'll ever own. Dance. Even if you have nowhere to do it but in your own living room. Read the directions, even if you don't follow them. Do not read beauty magazines. They will only make you feel ugly. Get to know your parents. You never know when they'll be gone for good.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:15.
If there was a time to think about your future, to think about securing you and your family, to start that journey, that time is now with people you can trust. At Bulwark Insurance Agency, service is not what we do, it's who we are. We understand what it means to work together to exceed your expectations. Bulwark Insurance Agency, insurance made easy. You asked, we listened. You said you wanted back the additional hour. Dear Pastor returns to its usual time from 10 p.m. until midnight.
Oh boy,
Your thoughts on topical issues, relationship matters, questions you want answered, pertinent advice, it all comes together on Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas.
Pastor, some men just feel that what they have in their pants is enough.
He returns to keep your company from 10 p.m. until midnight, right here on Power 106 FM.
Be careful whose advice you buy, but be patient with those who supply it. Advice is a form of nostalgia. Dispensing it is a way of fishing the past from the disposal, wiping it off, painting over the ugly parts, and recycling it for more than it's worth. But trust me on the sunscreen. Ladies and gentlemen of the class of 99, wear sunscreen. If I could offer you only one tip for the future, sunscreen would be it. The long-term benefits of sunscreen have been proved by scientists, whereas the rest of my advice has no basis more reliable than my own meandering experience.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Let's give you the usual start. Hoy es viernes, el 25 de junio 2021. Y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos.
Remember compliments you receive. Forget the insults. If you succeed in doing this, tell me how. Keep your old love letters. Throw away your old bank statements.
Ce vendredi, le 25 juin 2021, et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service pour une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both sides of the story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 10h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue.
The greatest instrument you'll ever own. Dance. Even if you have nowhere to do it but in your own living room. Read the directions, even if you don't follow them. Do not read beauty magazines. They will only make you feel ugly.
All we're saying is it's Friday, the 25th of June, 2021, and we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to Both Sides of the Story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome.
Accept certain inalienable truths. Prices will rise, politicians will philander, you too will get old. And when you do, you'll fantasize that when you were young, prices were reasonable, politicians were noble, and children respected their elders. Respect your elders. Don't expect anyone else to support you.
Good afternoon to those of you listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. From Moran Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point. This is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuned in via the Power 106 FM app, which you would have downloaded from the App Store or the Google Play Store, depending on the nature of your device. Downloading is free, listening is free, whenever, wherever. Special thanks as well if you have found other ways and means of listening. We're streaming live video on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page and affiliated pages. If you're not there yet, log on to Facebook. In the search box atop the page, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you'll be able to not just hear, but see. You'll be able to watch both sides of the story. And if you don't have a Facebook account, don't worry about it. There is always YouTube. We're streaming live video on YouTube as well. And we look forward to your full participation on your program, Both Sides of the Story. Straight to the phone lines. We have a guest coming up in a little while from now. But let's go to this early bird in a manner of speaking, the call that has come in right now. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you, Mr. Malcolm?
I am giving thanks for life. And you?
Okay, I'm okay. I'm Maxine Cummings, and I'm supposed to be in charge of the community development plans for Jamaica. I just want to quickly say that people will hear more about this. I just want to quickly say that I heard Zimbabwe on the previous line speaking about some case that he has with GPS and how disappointed he was that 7 times he visited the office to get light and meter and get this enormous bill. And I thought that Jesse could have, said, all right, let us bring some column. And I'm really hurt because 7 times and, he has not gotten through. I'm just saying, and I'm appealing, if somebody here to contact Miss Cullum to see what you can do about it, because I am really hurt. 7 times it's really disappointing. And your listeners will hear more about the community development plans and what we'll have to offer. All right, thanks.
Thanks for the call. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Uncle Malcolm, how you doing?
Better if I could hear you properly.
Okay, this is Robert calling from Upton, Mandeville here. How you doing, sir?
I am fine, thanks. And you?
I'm good, you know, sir. You know, sir, when you're in Lingan, you say Lingan Company to run the program, I used to be a regular caller.
Yes.
Yes, but
So you're on a sabbatical.
I'm a radio, sir. I just keeping on 106 listen dear pastor. Listen, Lingan Company those days, but now I listen like Althea in the morning, and it's a good while I never talked to pastor until last night. We can't get back in full 2 hours.
Well, good for you and good for him.
So what's going on? So everything, you all right?
We're still giving thanks for life.
Yes, I'm here. I'm Robert Alib at Mount Prospect here, you know, but we're giving thanks for life and we are getting a little rain, and so we have to say thanks for that.
Good.
What's your topic today, sir? Or you want me to bring up something to you, sir?
No, we generally leave it wide open. We make it clear we try not to come with an agenda per se, because you would have been hearing talk all morning with different interviews being done, from farm talk to on the agenda to real business to power talk. So coming to this point now, people would have been all talked up in a manner of speaking. So that's one of the reasons why I believe there are less callers at this time of the afternoon. So we try not to make it too rigid. We try to be as flexible as possible, and we never try to speak on behalf of the people, because only the people know whatever is happening or not happening to them, with them, for them. And so we prefer to allow the people to tell us what is happening, what is on their mind, what would they like to talk about, what would they like to highlight, what would they like to comment on. So that is deliberate. We try to keep it flexible, because the truth, well, we
to break in, sir. Okay?
Yes, go ahead.
You know, I just surprised to know, you know, all the government around Jamaica is the very first time I see them pressure the security force so much. Because first time, you know, when the police them couldn't manage things, soldier them go, I mean, never see a man shoot at a soldier now, and every mate man a shoot up a soldier, because this government pressure the soldier them too much. Every
No, but hold on now, careful now, because if you're going to make a connection, it has to make sense. So what you're saying about government pressuring police or soldier, and that's why more people shooting soldier. No. It's actually very rare. Very rare that happens. For those of us who listen to virtually every single newscast every single day and scour the papers and dig into the archives, so we know what we're talking about. It's actually very rare that happens, and it will happen. It's you're talking about combat. If you are trying to apprehend an individual or to bring in a particular group or gang or whatever, and they are not going to want to be taken, so they are going to try to run away or put up resistance. Now the police and the soldiers are protecting us. We are the ones they're supposed to be protecting from those of us who have gone astray. So you would imagine they're going to do their best to ensure that who's supposed to be caught and brought in is caught and brought in. But if you challenge the security forces as opposed to surrendering to the law, then sadly, the end might be much different.
Sir, you know, the thing about me is, you know, somebody who was bodyguarding or clearing the road for Mr. Nigel Clark crashed and died at Trinity. I feel so much for that officer and his family for sure. Over.
Yes, indeed. We join you in conveying condolences. We've always been rather worried and concerned about the speed at which these motorcades tend to travel at, especially the one the motorcade of the Prime Minister. We see that one very often, flashing and flashing and flashing and flashing, and it generally that's what happens. They go very fast, and we have to be mindful of road conditions. I don't want to speak too much to that right now, but because there's a family in mourning, we convey condolences to the family. But the security detail, they're supposed to be supremely well trained. So really, that is not supposed to happen. But so it is.
Big up yourself and listen,
Thank
sir.
you.
Last thing I want to say, I'm Robert, I'm Roundtown, Mandeville, Mount Classic for sure, but I feel it so much for that officer will lose his life at Chilani because
Yes, we got that. We got that. Sorry, we have to run. We have a guest in the wings, so to speak. Thank you.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:30. I save because one day my little business is going to be a big deal.
Yeah, and I make sure to put away a little something for my son. Better safe than sorry.
And thanks to JDIC, deposit insurance protection on my savings gone up.
You've been upgraded. Deposits held in commercial banks, building societies, and merchant banks are covered under the JDIC Deposit Insurance Scheme up to $1.2 million per depositor per institution.
The JDIC is big protection for every little thing that matters to me.
No, that's name real upgrade.
JDIC, protecting deposits for you and me. Your taxes hold the key.
Nobody come in line. Pay your taxes online.
So many options. You choose. Pay online at jamaicatax.gov.jm, TAJ mobile app, direct funds transfer, and NCB online banking.
It's safe, convenient, and secure.
Tax Administration Jamaica, changing the way we do business.
Advice is a form of nostalgia. Dispensing it is a way of fishing the past from the disposal, wiping it off, painting over the ugly parts, and recycling it for more than it's worth. But trust me on the sunscreen. Ladies and gentlemen of the class of 99, wear sunscreen. If I could offer you only one tip for the future, sunscreen would be it. The long-term benefits of sunscreen have been proved by scientists, whereas the rest of my advice has no basis more reliable than my own meandering experience. I will dispense this advice now. Enjoy the power and beauty of your youth. Oh, never mind. You will not understand the power and beauty of your youth until they've faded. But trust me, in 20 years, you'll look back at photos of yourself and recall in a way you can't grasp now how much possibility lay before you and how fabulous you really looked. You are not as fat as you imagine. Don't worry about the future, or worry, but know that worrying is as effective as trying to solve an algebra equation by chewing bubblegum. The real troubles in your life are apt to be things that never crossed your worried mind, the kind that blindsides you at 4 p.m. on some idle Tuesday. Do one thing every day that scares you. Sing. Don't be reckless with other people's hearts. Don't put up with people who are reckless with yours. Floss. Don't waste your time on jealousy. Sometimes you're ahead, sometimes you're behind. The race is long, and in the end, it's only with yourself. Remember compliments you receive. Forget the insults.
Both sides of the story, linking Jamaicans in the diaspora with Jamaicans of like mind in Jamaica.
Indeed, linking Jamaicans in Jamaica and the diaspora. And that's exactly what we continue to do on both sides of the story. The story of Jamaicans at home and abroad. And this afternoon, I don't even know where we're linking with, because this man could be anywhere in the world at any time. So we're going to find out where exactly he is right now. But let's just give you a quick snapshot of our guest who is waiting in the wings. He is very, very well known in parts of the world you perhaps would not be expecting a Jamaican to be this well known. He is managing director of FWK Yangon branch, and I think he's possibly in Beijing, China, but he will confirm that in a moment, because I get the impression he moves all over Asia and elsewhere in the world. I won't belabor the introduction. Let's hear from the man himself. Ambassador Earl Hemans, how are you, sir?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dervan Malcolm. I'm graciously pleased to be here this afternoon, Jamaican time. I'm actually currently now in Myanmar, previously known as Burma. So
what I mean?
Yes. So it's actually near Thailand, India, China, Vietnam, Laos.
What can you tell us? Well, let's get some background in terms of your Jamaican roots, your Jamaican heritage.
Wow, it's a very long one, but let me just begin at the simplest one. I was born and grew in a place that they call Almantown, which incidentally you hear coming up in the news. It's part of Central Kingston, and the area that I was born. You heard the song with Bob Marley, Tenement Yard. It was literally a tenement yard. It was on Arnold Avenue. And my mother, incidentally, an housewife, she was illiterate, couldn't read, couldn't write. But my father being a dentist. So I grew up in that area, in the tenement yard. But nonetheless, there was something that my mother always kept saying to me. She said, Earl, I have 5 hours. 1 hour must come out to be something good. And I have 4 sisters, Maxine, Marcia, Paulette, and Sharon. And of course, I've been the only boy. And so there is a church behind where we live. We call that church Arnold Road Methodist Church. And we had a vibrant youth club, like the boys brigade, and they have the girls guide. So we had that. And incidentally, Colin Steer, who usually worked at KLAS, he was in charge of the youth group that we had. And so in growing up in Almantown, in those days, you have like the Nutribon, right? And the Vegabon. So yes. There was this lady, she was like a second mother to me, and she lives currently at Prince of Wales Street. We call her Miss Christie, and she's a beautiful lady. So sometimes Miss Christie will go to the basic school because she usually worked there. And then she got the buns, and she will call me over the fence, Brother Hemans! And there will have my Nutribuns. So I really give kudos and I appreciate those things. So while growing up in that area, I went to Alpha Primary, and I had some of the most beautiful teachers at Alpha Primary. I can recall Mrs. Graham. I think she's now the principal, if I'm not mistaken, but I do stand corrected. And she, I remember one time she looked at me and she said, Earl, you have beautiful eyes. So in growing up in that area, I left from Alpha Primary, was not successful in the common entrance at that time. So I went to Holy Trinity Secondary. While at Holy Trinity Secondary, Mr. Gardner, at the time, he was the principal. So we had 2 shifts. We have the red shift, the blue shift, which is the morning shift and the evening shift. But incidentally, while I was in 7th grade, that we called first form, I was in 7H, and I have met some of the most brilliant minds at Holy Trinity Secondary. And we had some lovely teachers. I can remember Mrs. Johnson. Mrs. Johnson was one of the main reasons why I studied Spanish, right? Lovely teacher. And I remember Miss Ellis, who was my English teacher at the time. And I remember in 10th grade, normally you do CXC when you're in 11th grade, right? So in 10th grade, Mrs. Ellis asked 3 of us to sit this CXC. I think it was basic CXC at that time in 10th grade. And we were very successful in doing the CXC in 10th grade at Holy Trinity Secondary. So this was a secondary school, not one of those traditional high schools. And we were very successful. And it goes to show how important teachers are, because I never forget Mrs. Ellis, because what she did, she taught us not only for within the classroom, but she taught us for life. So those were some of the times I spent in Central Kingston, Almantown, and you know, there was this place where usually. Question?
No, I wanted to find out what happened after Holy Trinity.
Well, after Holy Trinity, I went to Jamaica School of Commerce. As a matter of fact, Mrs. Gale, Edward Gale, her husband started the company Edward Gale and Company, and he was the ambassador from Jamaica to Germany. So that was 137 East Street. I think that is in front of Gleaner, somewhere thereabout, right? And Mrs. Gale now, she had this school. She was a principal, and 90% of the student population were females, and there were only about 5 boys, right? And
you were one of them?
Yes, I was one of them, of course. And then I remember at the time, I had difficulty paying my tuition. So what I had to do, yes, I had difficulty in paying my tuition. What I had to do was to ask Mrs. Gale permission to have one of the classroom vacant so I could collect bottles. At those times we had the glass bottles, for D&G glass bottles, right? And the trucks would go around and collect those bottles. So I did that, and I was able to pay my...
You would have been one of those individuals who would be teased and called buckle police?
Absolutely. Yes, man, definitely buckle police, man. But I did it with style. I did it with style. So I was more like a classical bottle policeman. So what I was able to do strategically was to get the classroom emptied, because no students were occupying that classroom. It was just the old furniture at that time. So it was clean and everything. And then I was able now to coordinate with my fellow colleagues. And I said, okay, listen, you have the bottles, you give it to me. And we were able to work together and fill that classroom with bottles. And then we organized now for the truck would come right at the gate. And then I would get some money. And after I paid my school tuition, then we gave gifts to Maxwell Children's Homes. That's what we did. And it became an annual thing until, of course, subsequently she passed. And the school was there for maybe 1 year, 2 years. It's now closed, no longer exists. But I've had some memorable events right there.
Oh, what would you have done with those skills when you were finished at the business school?
Well, the good thing about it is that when we were finished, they provided jobs for us. So I started to work at the United Church in Jamaica and the Cayman Islands. That's near, Webster Memorial. At that time, Reverend Maitland Evans, he was in charge of that area. So I was in the accounts department. It was headed by Mrs. Smith and then Janice Bird. And subsequently after that, I went to YMCA, did A-level in accounts, and I continued to improve on my skill because I was very passionate about education. I recognize it was one of the only routes that I have to elevate myself as a person. And then subsequently, I went to mines and geology temporarily to work. And
All right, let's pick it up.
Sure.
Let's pick it up after the break. Listeners, if you're just tuning in, this is Both Sides of the Story on Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm. And for those of you who make the time to read the papers, you would have seen the Jamaica Observer, in the Jamaica Observer, a feature on our guest who is with us right now, Ambassador Earl Hemans, with the headline, "From Kingston's Gritty Streets to the Highways of the Far East." You'll hear more in just a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45.
Hey, you see these days, it's good to get straight to the point. Quick and easy. That's why Western Union gives you another way to receive money straight to your bank account with Western Union's direct-to-bank money transfer. Visit a Western Union agent location and sign up now and tell your family and friends to send your next Western Union money transfer directly to your bank account in Jamaica. It's easy. Visit a Western Union location or call our call center at 876-926-2454. Sign up today to receive a money transfer directly to your bank account with ease with Western Union. Moving money for better.
Tune in to Farm Talk, 6:18 to 6:35 a.m. the first Tuesday of every month, and 6:18 to 6:45 p.m. the last Tuesday of every month for First Hand in the Field. Real issues, real solutions. Join the Newport First Hand team in the field as they identify problems and tell you how to address them. First Hand in the Field, Real Issues, Real Solutions is brought to you by Newport First Hand Jamaica Limited, the first on the land.
Maybe you'll dance the funky chicken on your 75th wedding anniversary. Whatever you do, don't congratulate yourself too much, or berate yourself either. Your choices are half chance. So are everybody else's. Enjoy your body. Use it every way you can. Don't be afraid of it or what other people think of it. It's the greatest instrument you'll ever own. Dance. Even if you have nowhere to do it but in your own living room. Read the directions, even if you don't follow them. Do not read beauty magazines. They will only make you feel ugly. Get to know your parents.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, the story of Jamaicans at home and abroad. And we've been learning more about another illustrious Jamaican, one who is very familiar with what it means to have or to not have, and to work for what you want, and to put in some extra hours, and be creative and innovative, and all of those skills which would have been honed, HONED, at those early stages, would have no doubt been brought to bear on his larger than life personality these days, just based on the sheer weight of the work that he does and the connections that he facilitates, and trade and investments and development. And we're going to come to all of that in a little while. But let's remind you, if you're just tuning in, our guest is Ambassador Earl Hemans. And yes, he is an ambassador in more ways than one, based on the tremendous work that he does, from growing up in Almontown, Woodford Park, and that big yard, tenement yard of Arnold Road. And now he is a citizen of the world, who is quite the entrepreneur and the business savvy and technologically oriented individual. And we're anxious to learn more of the story. So you were mentioning you said I think you were at the point of where you were the accounts department. You had mentioned.
Okay, yes, I was at the accounts department at United Church in Jamaica and the Cayman Islands, right? And then subsequently, I now moved from the private sector, going into the civil service, the public sector. So
What was that like?
In 1999, my first stint in the public service was at Mines and Geology. And I met some lovely people, lovely geologists there. Mrs. Lorna McLeish, she was the HR director at that time. So I was there temporary, but I did so well. I did exceptionally well that she told me, I said, Mr. Evans, you know what? There's an opening at Office of the Prime Minister. And I said, wow, okay, I'll give it a shot. So I went to Office of the Prime Minister in April 2000. And when I went there, and then at the time, Mrs. Carmen Lowers, she was the director of finance, and Mrs. Enid Harrison was the director of budget. So incidentally, Mrs. Enid Harrison had a great impact on me. She was like another mother to me. So I was there at Office of the Prime Minister in the accounts department, and we became a family. You know, like in accounts, you have a thing that they call period 13. I don't think they have it now. So period 13 is after the financial year. You have to sometimes spend the night in the accounts department to make sure that all the accounting balances and everything is surrendered and all of those things. So I had that experience. Now, while having that experience, you know, Office of the Prime Minister, you have Office of the Cabinet, we're neighbors, right? It's like we're brothers and sisters. So I have been able to meet with persons from Office of the Cabinet, particularly at that time, Mrs. Coral Royce. She was the senior policy analysis, lovely lady, beautiful lady, but well, she subsequently retired from the public service. So while at Office of the Prime Minister, this is where my leadership skill began to take image, because you're meeting with so many persons who are so connected within different government sectors, within the ministries. And as a result of that, I became a member of the Jamaica Civil Service Association. So here am I at Office of the Prime Minister, and then I became a member of the Jamaica Civil Service Association. Now, while I was a member of the Jamaica Civil Service Association, I now had the opportunity to meet with Wayne Jones at the time. He was the president. And then incidentally, I became the assistant honorary treasurer for the Jamaica Civil Service Association. And I stand corrected. Jamaica Civil Service Association is the only union that is in the constitution of the Jamaican Constitution. It's the only union that is in the Jamaica Constitution. But I stand corrected, all right? And so while I was the assistant honorary treasurer, O'Neill Grant, who was the treasurer, who is now currently, and by the way, congratulations to O'Neill Grant, he just won the election to become the sitting incumbent president of the Jamaica Civil Service Association. So while there, we had another group. We have the Young Workers Committee group. So in that group, young persons who are within the public sector, they are being trained. So I was privileged to be a part of that group. And then gradually, history, the rest is history. So while there, and then I became a union delegate representing public sector workers at Office of the Prime Minister and also at Office of the Cabinet, right? So I was doing both. And I tell you something, Dervan, Jamaica have great talented leaders, because I was I met at the time the cabinet secretary who was Honorable Carlton Davis, and also Ambassador Douglas Sanders. I think he's still the cabinet secretary, but I stand corrected. And these are great men, and they're great men in their own right. And I have been molded by these persons who I've met, who are well known in the Jamaican society, and those who are not so well known, right? And even let me just rewind. Reverend VB, the Blessing Plan Ministry. I'm actually his godson, right? So many people who listen to Blessing Plan Ministry Sunday morning. I'm actually his godson.
So the Blessing
Yes.
Plan is an outreach ministry.
Yes.
Character of Jesus Christ Apostolic.
11
Elgin Road.
yes, the Blessing Plan Ministry, right? So, and even growing up at Elgin Road as a young guy, growing up, I've learned so much. So I have been touched by almost everybody in the Jamaican society, and I consider it
It's a classic. It's a classic example of the African proverb of "it takes a village."
Absolutely, to raise a child.
It takes a village to raise a child.
Absolutely. And these were not ordinary people. So I considered myself to be well privileged because I was able to serve on the most honorable PJ Patterson, and then Honorable Bruce Golding, Honorable Portia Simpson Miller, and the current Prime Minister, Most Honorable Andrew Holness, at that time was just 1 month at Office of the Prime Minister. So I knew what it was, because at Office of the Prime Minister, it's like everything is centralized there, and you get to understand how the system works, and you bond together. So I know what it is like. So I give kudos to all the members of staff at Office of the Prime Minister and also the cabinet staff, because I know that they're doing a tremendous amount of work where that is concerned.
So let us talk about the transition now, leaving all those positions that you would have held at one point or another and working out of the office of the Prime Minister. Is it that you peaked at that stage and Jamaica then got a little too small for you?
You know what?
I'm just kidding, but go ahead.
This lady here, she's a lovely lady, Herming Latibodier. She came to Office of the Prime Minister, and then she became the Director of Finance, and that lady touched my life. She became another mother to me. And as I said in the Observer, Ambassador Eleanor Felix, you know, lovely lady,
wonderful
lady.
Human being.
So, you know, she said to me, Earl, you know what? There is a position opening, and this one is for you, right? And then at the time, I had applied to Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and I was successful. And then, you know, the things that you read about China while you're in Jamaica, you know, China, communist country, etc. So this was a culture shock for me, because in my mind, I have this expectation about China, because this is what I read and this is what I have heard. Believe you me, Dervan. When I landed in Beijing, I said, where am I? Am I in America? Am I in New York? I could not believe it, honestly. I just couldn't believe it. So while I was there in Beijing, China, and I do thank the Jamaican people for giving me the opportunity to serve my country, because this was added experience for me. At that time, Ambassador Ralph Thomas, I consider him to be an excellent strategist, right? And he was the ambassador at that time in Beijing, China. And I have learned so much. And there were two things that my Chinese colleague said to me: Earl, you need to watch us and you need to speak our language. And I did that. And when I did that, I recognized why they said that to me, because they were moving so fast, but they had a purpose. And then I compare what was happening, what I was doing in Jamaica and the whole experience, and I recognized it was there was a colossal, vast difference. Absolutely different. I mean, these people move so fast. It's like supersonic, but they had a purpose. And I said to myself, oh, you know what? I want to be like them. And then I started my own company, Genegistic Alpha Harmonic International Trade, Financing, and Distribution Company. And when I started my company, then I recognized the kind of demand that was there for a company like mine. Because as of today, I think I am the only Caribbean person doing what I am doing here in Asia.
And let's talk about what you have been doing on the continent of Asia after the break. One moment.
The Time by Medical Disposables and Supplies Limited, an official distributor of 3M Healthcare Solutions, 83 Hagley Park Road, Kingston 10, is 3 p.m.
Join us for 4 days of unprecedented live and unremitting coverage of the J3 National Championships, all on www.onespotmedia.com pay-per-view. Thursday, June 24th to Sunday, June 27th, 2021. Sign up now to watch the National Championships on www.onespotmedia.com as our outstanding athletes vie for a spot on our journey to the Olympics. Sign up now and gain access to the season pass for only US $6.99 or day passes for US $3.99. Simply log into One Spot Media, select the pay-per-view tab, and buy your ticket. You may also download the One Spot Media app and watch on the go. Purchase your pay-per-view tickets today.
Yours. Floss. Don't waste your time on jealousy. Sometimes you're ahead, sometimes you're behind. The race is long, and in the end, it's only with yourself. Remember compliments you receive. Forget the insults. If you succeed in doing this, tell me how. Keep your old love letters. Throw away your old bank statements. Stretch. Don't feel guilty if you don't know what you want to do with your life. The most interesting people I know didn't know at 22 what they wanted to do with their lives. Some of the most interesting 40-year-olds I know still don't. Get plenty of calcium. Be kind to your knees. You'll miss them when they're gone. Maybe you'll marry, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll have children, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll divorce at 40. Maybe you'll dance the funky chicken on your 75th wedding anniversary. Whatever you do, don't congratulate yourself too much, or berate yourself either. Your choices are half chance. So are everybody else's. Enjoy your body. Use it every way you can. Don't be afraid of it, or what other people think of it. It's the greatest instrument you'll ever own. Dance. Even if you have nowhere to do it but in your own living room. Read the directions, even if you don't follow them. Do not read beauty magazines. They will only make you feel ugly. Get to know your parents. You never know when they'll be gone for good. Be nice to your siblings. They're your best link to your past and the people most likely to stick with you in the future. Understand that friends come and go, but with a precious few, you should hold on. Work hard to bridge the gaps in geography and lifestyle, because the older you get, the more you need the people you knew when you were young. Live in New York City once, but leave before it makes you hard. Live in Northern California once, but leave before it makes you soft. Travel. Accept certain inalienable truths. Prices will rise. Politicians will philander.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Our special guest is Ambassador Earl Hemans, and he has quite an impressive Sorry, a little distracted there. Sorry about that. No, I was saying he's quite an accomplished Jamaican, and as I said earlier on, a citizen of the world. He, you would have heard most of the story up to now if you have been listening. And when you look at his track record in terms of the different areas he has served in, obviously you just heard about his diplomatic life, so to speak. You also heard about a couple of his companies. So then you also just a moment. We just all right. Let's keep it going. Look, the technology is messing with us a bit. It seems we should be good now. Oh, okay. Let's do that again. How is this now? No, not hearing from your end. No, that's odd. That's odd because we have an all clear here. All right. Let's let's test that again. 1, 2, 3. Oh, so you need to unmute. Not you, Ambassador. On this system. Yeah, it's muted. That's what I'm seeing. Oh boy. Yeah, but that's what I'm seeing here. So there you go. No, that's not it. Oh dear. All right, sorry about that. We're just trying to make an adjustment to the technology. All right, I think we're okay now. So yeah, so then give us the trajectory of your upward mobility, so to speak, from diplomacy to consultancy.
It's actually more than consultancy, because what
I was just looking for a word that rhymes. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. Okay, sir, no problem. For example, because of what I have learned in Jamaica, and then I build on what I have acquired in Asia, particularly in China. So I created this company, and the company has 4 pillars that it works on, namely tourism, agriculture, renewable energy, and consultancy. So what I have managed to done is, that Chinese, to gain Chinese trust is not easy. The Chinese have a thing that they call guangxi, which is the relationship. So, and Chinese people don't really easily trust you just like that if you're not a part of their family. So I was quite lucky to gain their trust in a short period of time. And then we went, President Xi Jinping had the Belt and Road Initiative, and I think they're still doing it. And we were able to go to the Philippines with investors, right? So a group of investors, including myself, we went to the Philippines and we did some investment in renewable energy. So that's where it all started, right? So in renewable energy, and then we started to branch out into other areas. I give you a typical example. Right at Riverton City, Riverton Dome, right? Every now and then you will have fire. We have the technology. We have the technology that we call waste to energy, right? So the waste to energy, so instead of having the fire and it pollutes the atmosphere and people around the neighboring surroundings and the environment, because of the pollution, they get sick and maybe, some,
in fact, just recently,
legal ramifications. What we have, the technologies here, It's been used in Japan. Right now, I think somewhere in South America, where that waste is converted into energy. So if the National Solid Waste Agency need that technology, we're not only willing to sell the equipment, but the exchange of technology. This is what I'm trying to let the Jamaican people and by extension CARICOM countries recognize that there are technologies that do exist.
Yes, no
They
question
do
about
exist.
it. In fact, it's been in the news on a couple of fronts. We did hear the Prime Minister a couple days ago, I think it was, making a statement about plans. I think he was speaking at some function or another, and talking about plans to relocate Riverton City dump, so to speak, and with a view to entering into a waste to energy program. So we hope that that it's your company that is being engaged.
Well, let's put it this way. Whether it's my company or not, the reality is that the science and technology is there to help us to make our life better. And the waste, because one of the reasons why the Jamaican manufacturing sector cannot compete globally is because it's the high cost of energy. If you have the high cost of energy, it's going to be very complicated and very difficult to compete globally. So if you have a diversity of renewable energy, that would help, I think, right? So we also do renewable energy and also, like I said, agriculture. So would you believe it? And I find it very unbelievable. Jamaica, since I left Jamaica, I recognize that Jamaica has access to the EU market. The EU market, there are 27 countries in the European Union, and Jamaica has access in terms of the agriculture sector, providing that you meet the standards, whether it be the quality, the consistency, and the volume. Just recently, Jamel Distributor, one of my corporate partner in Jamaica, Mr. Michael Leslie, right? I said to him, Mr. Leslie, we now need 200 metric tons of ginger. There are two countries in the world that provide very good ginger, India and Jamaica. Now, what I had to do after Mr. Leslie and someone else searched, they couldn't find that kind of quantity. I had to give my Indian counterpart that business, so we're missing out on a tremendous amount of opportunities. Yes, tremendous amount of opportunities.
Well, we certainly hope that that your work precedes you in terms of your reputation, and that as Jamaican decision makers, we will look to individuals like you with an established track record and solid relationships and partnerships on the continent of Asia, for example, so that we don't have to reinvent the wheel.
There's another thing I want to share with you. Like in the Philippines, when I was in the Philippines, I saw beef patty, Jamaican beef patty. Tasted just like Jamaican beef patty. It looked like Jamaican beef patty. You could not tell me it's not Jamaican beef patty. So after further investigation, I ascertained that it was actually Jamaican beef patty. But the line was very short in comparison to other patties. And the reason why is that the kind of marketing strategy that is being used in Jamaica or the Western world, you cannot use it in Asia. It will not work. So what I'm saying is that there are opportunities for Jamaican products to be in the Asian market. But if you have a certain mentality in terms of your regular routine, in terms of your marketing strategy, it will not work in Asia. What Asia does is that it works with the value, small profit, quick sale, right? So the marketing strategy is something that they have to look at. For example, I said to some of my Jamaican friends, send me some Scotch bonnet pepper, send me some samples. The market is here. In Asia, you have 2/3 of the world population in Asia. India, 1.8 billion, China, 1.8 billion, part of the Middle East, part of Asia, right? So there are so many ways that we can benefit as a country. But you have
Let's
to
explore
understand the system, their
and the
culture, and you have
culture.
to be a part of it.
Let's explore the possibilities a little more right after this break. A lot. We're learning a lot from our very special guest at this time, Ambassador Earl Hemans. He is creating waves across the continent of Asia, and it makes us very proud that a Jamaican can really be performing at the highest level across Asia as far as trade and investments are concerned. More in a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15. The National Irrigation Commission Limited NIC is reminding the public that bathing, swimming, washing of clothes and motor vehicles is prohibited at their canals, dams and reservoirs. In fact, trespassing on the irrigation infrastructure is punishable by law under the Irrigation Act. A message from the National Irrigation Commission Limited. Irrigation, making the difference in agriculture.
You asked, we listened. You said you wanted back the additional hour. Dear Pastor returns to its usual time from 10 p.m. until midnight.
Oh boy, you know.
Your thoughts on topical issues, relationship matters, questions you want answered, pertinent advice. It all comes together on Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas.
Pastor, some men just feel that what they have in their pants is enough.
He returns to keep your company from 10 p.m. until midnight, right here on Power 106 FM.
I will dispense this advice now. Enjoy the power and beauty of your youth. Oh, never mind. You will not understand the power and beauty of your youth until they've faded. But trust me, in 20 years, you'll look back at photos of yourself and recall in a way you can't grasp now how much possibility lay before you and how fabulous you really looked. You are not as fat as you imagine. Don't worry about the future, or worry, but know that worrying is as effective as trying to solve an algebra equation by chewing bubblegum. The real troubles in your life are apt to be things that never crossed your worried mind.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Hello to the people from Arnold Avenue and Almond Town, Woodford Park. All these communities. Our special guest grew up in a tenement yard you said it's Arnold Avenue or Arnold Road?
That's off Arnold Road, Arnold Avenue.
Right, off Arnold Road. Right. Yes. And of course, sorry, go ahead.
And while you're bigging up those people, my mother is from Mulgrave District, Elderslie. I'm bigging up those people as well. My father is from Westmoreland, Darliston, Hopewell. Bigging up those people as well.
Yes. And of course, all Holy Trinity High School students, past and present. This is one of your own. And those who went to, was it Alpha?
Alpha Primary.
Alpha Primary.
Yes.
Yes, you have reason to celebrate as well, because this is one of your own. And if Earl Hemans can do it, why not you? Yes, you can do it too. You can do it too. So these days, give us a sense of a typical day in your life. Ambassador Earl Hemans on the continent of Asia? Why?
You know what?
Ambassador Earl, to be precise.
Yes, I'm in Myanmar, Yangon. To be honest with you, typical day is not really a typical day because one day is like 1 year. So anything that you do not get to achieve within the day is like you're left behind. And if you miss an opportunity, right, it's like you have to go and join the back of the line. So if you have 5 billion people line up and you miss that opportunity, you have to go at the back of that line. So you have to be swift and precise.
Yeah,
Swift
well, you
and
did
precise.
say that earlier on in dealing with the Chinese, for example, the culture. They move very fast, as you were
Absolutely.
saying earlier on. So there's no such thing as Jamaica time in China or
such
in
time.
Myanmar.
No such time. You just have to move very fast. As a matter of fact, you have to try and move faster than the Chinese. That's how you have to survive. And most importantly, you have to collaborate. You have to, it's like a partnership. You cannot compete. If you compete, you will lose. You have to find ways to collaborate and work together and coordinate. That is how you can be successful. If you
Can
try
you
to
give us an
compete,
idea?
like what? If
Sorry,
you try
go
to
ahead.
compete, you'll get left behind.
Yes. Well said. Give us an idea, though, of for those business people in Jamaica, whether and those in the public sector as well. Can you give us a couple of pointers in terms of some of the areas of interest in the countries on the continent of Asia and elsewhere in the world? Your business partners, investors, you're involved in your own businesses. What should we be doing at this stage to capitalize on having a heavyweight of a Jamaican like you, Ambassador Earl Hemans, on the continent of Asia?
I wouldn't say I'm heavyweight, but I'm your humble servant. However, you know what? I always say that there is unity in opportunity, right? You look at the word opportunity, you find unity. So, and this is what I have learned also at Office of the Prime Minister, because at Office of the Prime Minister, we offer corporate service, right? So when you have Ministry of Tourism, right, we allocate and we control the budget for Ministry of Tourism because we recognize that tourism is very important to the Jamaican economy. So tourism in and of itself, we did not leave it as a ministry. It had to be part of Office of the Prime Minister. Same thing like agriculture. Agriculture is the backbone of any society, right? You need food. Without food, you cannot survive. And like I said, I am very much disheartened that I see so many opportunities, particularly for the agricultural sector, that we're missing out on, right? We're missing out on that. So that is something that we have to go and look at and make sure that we take good care of the farmers. Incidentally, in terms of tourism, I want to acknowledge also, I'm endorsing Mrs. Diana McIntyre Pack. She's doing an excellent job, country style community tourism development. It is something that we are now adopting here as we speak. It's something that we're looking at. So that is tremendous. And even recently, the Integrated Diaspora Service, Mr. Herdit and Mrs. Stave, these are brave young people, and I'm very much encouraged by them. And of course, I believe once we recognize that we have to be united, to get things done, then it can be done. Because right here, I see people, they speak Burmese here, but they sing reggae music. These guys know nothing about reggae music. They are Burmese. You can't even use Google to translate Burmese into English, but they're singing reggae music, right? So Jamaica has impacted the world. So we need to be consistent, we need to be united, and we need to take advantage of the opportunities that we created for ourselves and stop let other people exploiting the opportunities that we create. You understand?
Well said.
Also acknowledge, I'm going to call the name Fire. She's a tremendous person. She's in North Carolina, and she has been very supportive. And I also want to also give my appreciation to Mr. Michael Leslie. Actually, we have been working together, Jamel Distributor and Logistics. We have also sent some things in Jamaica to assist in the COVID-19, the fight against COVID-19. So Jamel Logistic and Distribution Service is a company that we're working with as well. And we're more willing to work with other companies and to see how best, not just to sell you products, but also to exchange the technology. For example, EVs, electronic vehicles, that is a must, that is unavoidable, right? I strongly believe that what we should be doing as Jamaican is to learn the technology, and that, like here, what we do now is that some of the government, especially from Malaysia and Indonesia, they give waivers for EVs, electronic vehicles, right? So maybe it's 10,000 US dollars or 15,000 US dollars. So they're giving incentive for persons to bring in EVs. And then once you bring in the EVs, you have maybe somebody at the University of the West Indies or some trade facility, trade school that can look at the technology, dissect it, and build on it. Because it's the way of the future, it's unavoidable. So we need to get the young people engaged in the kind of technologies that are unavoidable. So in other words, you have to be proactive. You can't be reactive. If you are reactive, you will be a loser, right? And I'm being honest with you. But if you're proactive, you will always be the victor. So we have to learn to be proactive. And what the Chinese do, they don't say excuse. They say opportunity, 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 opportunity. And I know Jamaicans, I'm a Jamaican. If we want to get something done, we can get it done.
True.
Yes.
True. No doubt about that. So how is life in Myanmar though? How are you find it? Is that your permanent residence or?
No, it's not my permanent residence. It's where duty calls. Where duty calls.
Okay. Right. No, but I just wanted to get a sense of what life was like in Myanmar, Burma.
It's very exciting. Very exciting.
Okay. Yeah. And have you been seeing, apart from the beef patties, you were saying those were from Jamaica as far as you were able to tell?
Yes, they were from Jamaica. But the pricing was too high. In Asia, you can't use the Jamaican ideology in terms of marketing strategy and utilize it in Asia. It's totally different. You know what I mean? Totally different.
How can people follow your work, Ambassador Earl Hemans? How can they get in touch with you further to all you have shared with us in terms of your wealth of experience and interactions, engagements, investments, etc.? For those who'd like to spread their wings and benefit from some of the opportunities on the continent of Asia. Can you share those contact details, please?
Sure. It's Earl Hemans 8. Right. No, let me give you this one. It's earlhemans.genegistic@gmail.com, or you can, I can give you the number or something, and then perhaps you can give it to those persons who are interested.
Who make inquiries.
Also, yes. So and if you want, you can Google me. I mean, Genegistic Alpha Harmony International Trade Services and Distribution Company Limited. It's there.
And that Genegistic is spelled Genergistic.
Absolutely correct, sir. Absolutely. Your spelling is impeccable.
You're very kind. Right. Well, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. I don't know if there's
Privilege is
anybody
mine.
else on your shout out list, but we have no problems with the shout outs as we get ready
Oh,
to wrap.
sure. I couldn't leave without the Bamboo Indigenous Material Advisory Committee, BMAC. They're doing an excellent job, especially Mr. Gladstone Rose at Bureau of Standards. I was a part of that committee, and I'm still a part of that committee. We started part of that, and I consider that as a privilege. And in Clarendon,
Hold on, I'll allow you a few more minutes. I'll allow you a few more minutes because that's an important matter you just touched on. One.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:30. 20 feet. Just 20 feet. That can make the difference between life and death when you're operating equipment or doing construction near a GPS power line. Any closer and you can cause severe damage or even death. Don't put your life on the line for that. For the sake of your loved ones, just follow this simple instruction and stay 20 feet away from GPS power lines when you're operating equipment or doing construction. Stay safe. Protect life and property. For assistance, call 1-888-225-5577. GPS, powering what matters.
Win big this summer. Enter the Gleaner Star Luxurious Escape Competition. Win the grand prize of 2 weekends for two at an all-inclusive hotel plus $25,000 in groceries, weekly cash prizes, and more. Buy a printed copy of the Gleaner Star. Enter the serial number at the front page by texting 876-322-7967 or online at gleanerluxury.com. Competition runs from June 6 to July 10, 2021. See the Gleaner and the Star for
Both sides of the story, linking Jamaicans in the diaspora with Jamaicans of like mind in Jamaica.
We always need to hear both sides of the story.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. The story of Jamaicans at home and abroad. Online, we have Ambassador Earl Hemans, who is a very highly regarded businessman, entrepreneur, director of Crown Eagle International Engineering and Technology Company Limited. And he has been involved in the areas of tourism in terms of promoting and investing, tourism, agriculture, renewable energy. I think I missed one. Is that it? Tourism, agriculture, renewable energy, and also that's it. Yeah, right. So now I was asking you about life in Burma, and you also started telling us about the bamboo industry. I'll allow you to just finish the point you're making on that, and then we get ready to wrap.
Okay, sure. Like I was saying, that the BMA, the Bamboo Indigenous Material Advisory Committee, of which I was a part of and still am, that we started our first pilot project in Clarendon. That's my group. And we were able to do bamboo charcoal. Now, when the people saw what we were doing, cutting the bamboos, and said, okay, we're going to use it for coal, they couldn't believe it. And then when we did it, it was like something that was so new to them. And I'm very much proud of this committee. And I think that kudos to Mr. Gladstone Rose. He's a great inspirator, motivator. And he's doing a tremendous job for Jamaica in terms of where the Bamboo Industry Committee is right now. All right. So thank you once again for this.
I don't wrap yet. Hold on, because I want to get a sense of how you've been able to get over, around, or under the so-called language barrier, whether in Myanmar or China or wherever else in Asia.
Well, I love language, and as a manager or as a leader, one of the things that you have to do, many people don't understand, you may not be able to speak the language eloquently, but you can understand it. So I knew that I had to learn the language to fully understand the culture.
How rare are you in Myanmar as a black man?
Well, to me, there is no color because no, seriously, when you are an asset to a country, because when you find persons actually coming to your doorstep seeking for advice, and they benefit from that advice, it's there is no color where that is concerned. And as
Brilliant.
Jamaican,
Yes.
as Jamaican, we don't look at a man's color. You know what I'm thinking. We don't
Yes.
look at a man's color, right? Because we are
Yes, in
Jamaican,
fact,
right?
that's why it's easy for us to call each other, to call somebody by a nickname. Blacker, brown man, red man.
I tell you something, Dervan. I think Jamaicans are the only people in the world who doesn't want to be anyone else but Jamaicans, but other people want to be like us.
Yeah. And you made a very important point as well about your being an asset to a country. When you're an asset to a country, nobody sees color.
Absolutely.
Because it's not about color anyway, it's about culture.
Yes.
And clearly, you have harnessed and honed and exuded and exhibited a culture of excellence in everything that you do, which is obviously of first world standard.
To God be the glory.
So when
to God be the glory.
Amen.
To God be the
Amen.
glory. Yes.
No, well done. We could talk with you all afternoon, but we know it's not afternoon where you are. It's 25 minutes to 4 o'clock Saturday morning.
Well,
am I correct?
5 minutes past 3 in the morning.
5 past 3. Oh, so it's
Saturday,
it's
yes.
12 and a half hours. So you're 12 and a
Yes.
half hours ahead of us.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, remarkable. So oh goodness, so you're going to sleep now then?
No, I'm not going to sleep. I'm going to be up. I'm all geared up, all prepped up. Too much energy.
Excellent. It's been a pleasure. I'm sure this is
Privilege is
this is
mine,
not going
sir.
to be our last interview. We're looking forward to speaking with you again and tracking your progress. Well done. We're very proud of you.
Sheshani Pongyo, Sheshani. Jesu Timbade.
Booyong share. Okay, 再见. 再见.
Okay, 再见, 再见, 再见.
再见.
All right.
All right, take care. There you have it. A very special. How long have we been going for? More than an hour. Yeah, and we're happy we've been able to spend that much time engaging in discussion. This outstanding ambassador, Earl Hemans, Managing Director for FWK Yangon Branch, Crown Eagle International Engineering and Technology Company. And as you've been hearing, if you have an interest in tourism, agriculture, renewable energy, and related matters, these are just some of the areas of expertise. And it's good to have a Jamaican on the continent of Asia, isn't it? I know we have more than just one, but I'm just saying a Jamaican with the credentials as Earl Hemans. Surely you will be able to get around much quicker than on your own. And once again, it's earlhemans.genergistic@gmail.com. So you can Google Genergistic, Jergistic. And just by Googling that, in fact, if you Google Earl Hemans, a lot of information will come up. So you will know exactly how to reach him and be in touch. Wonderful. So let's take a quick let's take a quick break and come back.
Class is in session. Power 106. Both sides of the story, linking Jamaicans in the diaspora with Jamaicans of like mind in Jamaica.
We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Connecting the Jamaican diaspora abroad and at home.
Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
Be kind to the needs. You'll miss them when they're gone. Maybe you'll marry, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll have children, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll divorce at 40. Maybe you'll dance the funky chicken on your 75th wedding anniversary. Whatever you do, don't congratulate yourself too much, or berate yourself either. Your choices are half chance. So are everybody else's. Enjoy your body. Use it every way you can. Don't be afraid of it or what other people think of it. It's the greatest instrument you'll ever own. Dance. Even if you have nowhere to do it but in your own living room. Read the directions, even if you don't follow them. Do not read beauty magazines. They will only make you feel ugly. Get to know your parents. You never know when they'll be gone for good. Be nice to your siblings. They're your best link to your past and the people most likely to stick with you in the future. Understand that friends come and go, but with a precious few, you should hold on. Work hard to bridge the gaps in geography and lifestyle, because the older you get, the more you need the people you knew when you were young. Live in New York City once, but leave before it makes you hard. Live in Northern California once, but leave before it makes you soft. Travel. Accept certain inalienable truths. Prices will rise, politicians will philander, you too will get old. And when you do, you'll fantasize that when you were young, prices were reasonable, politicians were noble, and children respected their elders. Respect your elders. Don't expect anyone else to support you. Maybe you have a trust fund, maybe you'll have a wealthy spouse, but you never know when either one might run out. Don't mess too much with your hair, or by the time you're 40, it will look 85. Be careful whose advice you buy, but be patient with those who supply it. Advice is a form of nostalgia. Dispensing it is a way of fishing the past from the disposal, wiping it off, painting over the ugly parts, and recycling it for more than it's worth. But trust me on the sunscreen.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Thoroughly enjoyed that interview with Ambassador Hemans, Earl Hemans, in Myanmar. Yes, on the continent of Asia. Very, very super well connected Jamaican. And as he said, powerful words when I asked him about how unique he was in Myanmar, a black man in Myanmar, and he says, well, when you are an asset to a country, people don't see color. You're an asset. They look beyond color. When you are an asset. Just remember that. Yeah, as we always say, it's not about color. Is it a culture of excellence? Yeah. It's all about culture, not color. Culture. What is your culture? A culture of excellence? Is that your culture? What is your culture? Tons of messages, and we thank you for your patience. Rose McIntosh says, very interesting, informative, and enjoyable conversation, Sir Dervan. Thank you very much, Rose McIntosh. Taki Lemqua says, I oftentimes said to understand China, their interactions with close neighbors, and their so much was learned through watching Korean historical dramas that involved China and Japan, that just listening to the interview just now brought images of such Very sound point there. Agriculture is the backbone of any society, says Taki Lemkwa. Just the other day, I was checking in on Brazil if there were prominent black farmers there, for the same reason that that background with regard to farming is so vitally important to determine even people's status. Rose McIntyre says, so true. I never wanted to be anything else but a Jamaican from an early age. Taki Lemko says, so many opportunities exist. Well, let's come back to the messages. Tons of messages. We'll try to clear them after the break.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:45. Hose Assembly and Supply HAS is the best at what they do. They supply hoses, fittings, and tools. They guarantee they are unbeatable in price and quality combined. Branded by you as the hose and tool boss with the most effective industrial solutions. Come, experience the joy of shopping with the hose from the 3 Hagley Park Road to Charles Birth Crescent or Montego Bay Trade Center. HAS would like to thank their customers for
us for 4 days of unprecedented live and unremitting cover.1spot for only US $6.99. Or Day Pass media app and watch on the go. Purchase your pay-per-view tickets today.
The form of nostalgia. Dispensing it is a way of fishing the past from the disposal, wiping it off, painting over the ugly part, and recycling it for more.
Sorry, we didn't tell you that the quotation at the top of the program with respect to making every day special. That was a quotation from Donna Fargo. Make every day special. That's how we started with Donna Fargo's Make Every Day Special. Make every day special. Own it and gift of your own life. And then we matched that with Baz Luhrmann's spoken word piece. Everybody, let's just bring it up here. But it really, I think we've shared with you before on this program the history behind this piece, and we perhaps will do that another time. But it's entitled "Everybody's Free," and then in brackets, to wear sunscreen. Everybody is free to wear sunscreen, and there are some telling lines. There are some telling lines in this piece, and as we said, we have gone through it before. Do what we have done before in that regard in detail, but just to look at a couple of the telling lines. I mean, he says, "Ladies and gentlemen of the class of '99, wear sunscreen. Sunscreen would be it. The long-term benefits of sunscreen has no basis more reliable than my own meandering experience. I will dispense this advice now. Enjoy the power and beauty of your youth. Oh, never mind. You will not understand the power and beauty of your youth until they have faded." That's why they say youth is wasted on the young, because it's after you would have aged that you would have learned and of the value and the tremendous opportunities of youth. Yeah. And I'm just going through, I'm just jumping over a couple of sections because we want to hit, let's see. Don't worry about the future or worry. In other words, don't worry about the future. fact, don't worry at all. But know that worrying is as in bubblegum. In other words, worrying doesn't help. In fact, worrying does more harm than good, because then you have depression and all kinds of other other mental health and related issues kicking in. So don't worry about the future, or worry. Don't worry. And there's another section. Yeah, don't waste your time on, don't be reckless with people's hearts, and don't put up with people who are reckless with yours. Don't be reckless with other people's hearts, and don't put up with people who are reckless with yours. In other words, don't fool around. If you're in a committed relationship, you're in a committed relationship. Don't fool around. Worse, yeah. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't be reckless with other people's hearts, and don't put up with people who are reckless with yours. And then, of course, don't waste your time on jealousy. Sometimes you're ahead, sometimes you're behind. The race is long, and in the end, it's only with yourself. The race is with yourself. It's with you, yourself. You yourself. Remember the compliment. If you succeed in doing that, tell me how. This is a realist speaking, quite a pragmatic person, eh? Keep your old love letters. Throw away your old bank statements. Stretch. Yeah, how many of us remember to stretch in any given day? Seriously, we take it for granted. Stretching is important. The babies do it well, don't they? Don't feel guilty if you don't know what you want to do with your life. Most interesting people I know didn't know at 22 what they wanted to do with their lives. Some of the most interesting 40-year-olds I know still don't know what to do with their still don't know what they want to do. That's fine. That's fine, because the hope is that at some point, whether late or early, that we find our purpose. And when we find that purpose, that we move full steam. Notice I didn't say speed. Full steam ahead in fulfilling that purpose. But sometimes we find our purpose early, sometimes a little later than we would have hoped. Whenever we find that thing called purpose, go for it. Go for it. Let's see. Yeah, the piece goes on. Maybe you'll marry, maybe you won't. In other words, yes, it would be great for those who believe in the institution of marriage for all of us to get married. That would be great. But not all of us ever will. So maybe you'll marry, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll have children, maybe you won't. That's the story of life, isn't it? Maybe you'll divorce at 40. Whatever. Right? Enjoy your body. Use it every way you can. Don't be afraid of it or what other people think of it. It's the greatest instrument you'll ever own. Your body. The greatest instrument you will ever own. Dance, even if you have nowhere to do it but in your own living room. In other words, let's physical activity is important, and that has implications for our mental health as well. Dance. Yes. And read the instructions, even if you don't follow them. Yeah, some of us don't read the instructions. We just go right in. You read the instructions. Hello. And if you're having a difficulty there, maybe eyesight, vision problems or whatever, get someone to read the instruction, the directions for you. They will only make you feel ugly. Yeah, well, that's if you don't have the self-esteem. I mean, if you have self-esteem, it's neither here nor there. But perhaps those who are challenged in that arena, until they can build up their self-esteem, perhaps they should stay away from the beauty magazines. Get to know your parents. You never know when they'll be gone for good. Get to know your parents. You never know when they'll be gone for good. That's critical. A lot of us, we bawl and bawl for forever when the parents are no longer around. And when they are around, we either don't treat them so well, or we don't pay them any mind, or we're too busy. So it's just maybe once a year or twice a year that we get. No. Get to know your parents. Those of us who still have parents around, get to know your parents. You never know when they'll be gone for good. Be nice to your siblings. They are the best link to your past. Yeah, I mean, who else can you reminisce with than siblings and talk about who used to do and I mean, just to engage in that moment of nostalgia, that has a therapeutic effect. Yeah. So be nice to your siblings. They are the best link to your past and the people most likely to stick with you in the future. Yeah, give and take some anomalies along the way, but for the most part. And not only your siblings in terms of the people most likely to stick with you in the future, but your classmates. Your classmates. Do we realize that how much as children, maybe when we were in it, we didn't realize it. But when you're in a school, whether primary, high school, that's a whole network of people. They know you from school, so they know whether they can trust you or not, etc. And you might end up going into business with them. Best people to do business with, you would have known them from high school. And you would know who you can trust and who you have to be careful with, etc., etc. So it goes for the students as well, for the schoolmates, and you need the people you knew when you were young. Those are people you should be able to trust them and would have an idea of what they were about, right? And it goes on. Respect your elders. Or the way some of us treat our elders. Respect your elders. That's something that a lot of those countries on the continent of Asia, that's a part of their culture. The greatest of respect is reserved for the elders. And that's why, yeah, well, don't want to start another discussion on that now, but respect for elders in those Asian countries. Respect for elders. And we used to have a great deal of respect for our elders here in Jamaica. There was a time, Bob Marley's on tape talking about that. A lot of people, you can play back the tapes of people talking about that. There was a time when we used to show a lot of respect to elders. For the most part, we still do. But some of us, geez. Let's see. Let's take the break and come back.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4 o'clock.
Join us for 4 days of unprecedented live and unremitting coverage of the J3 National Championships, all on www.onespotmedia.com pay-per-view. Thursday, June 24th to Sunday, June 27th, 2021. Sign up now to watch the National Championships on www.onespotmedia.com as our outstanding athletes vie for a spot on our journey to the Olympics. Sign up now and gain access to the season pass for only US $6.99 or day passes for US $3.99. Simply log into One Spot Media, select the pay-per-view tab, and buy your ticket. You may also download the One Spot Media app and watch on the go. Purchase your pay-per-view tickets today.
Prices will rise, politicians will philander, you too will get old. And when you do, you'll fantasize that when you were young, prices were reasonable, politicians were noble, and children respected their elders. Respect your elders. Don't expect anyone else to support you. Maybe you have a trust fund, maybe you'll have a wealthy spouse, but you never know when either one might run out.
Que hora es en espagnol? Son las 4:01. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:01. 现在几点了？4点2分. A minute past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? Checking in with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Here are some of my favorite lines. Inalienable truths. Prices will rise. Politicians will philander. You too will get old. And when you do, you'll fantasize. Young, prices were reasonable, and children respected their elders. Respect your elders. Let's leave it there. Well, somebody told gone bad in your communities. If you keep your community safe and peaceful, if you don't harbor people, then it means maybe that's your, as the song says, war a gone down the lane, we now go down there. No, our communities must become friendlier. And it means that more people will invest. So people whose parents maybe still have a house in the community, but for the most part, they're living overseas. Instead of maybe selling the property, they might consider renting it, or they might consider repurposing it and setting up a business in the community in which they grew up. Their way of giving back. How do we expect people to give back to communities when, especially communities they have a connection to? If these communities are constantly at war, they're not going to waste their time on that. Why would people waste time on that? There are so many Jamaicans all over the world who are ready to give back to their communities here in Jamaica, or the 775 or so communities that we have in this country. In the community in which they grew up. But if all that people can do is to get up day in, day out, war. So it's what, gun toting individuals. So after a while, you just shoot yourselves, just shoot each other, and that's it. I'm just saying, come on, man. What the song says, we've got to live some life before we old. We've got to live some life before we cold. Let us start living, stop existing and start living. And people can't live in chaos and uncertainty and unsafe and in an unsafe environment. In fact, just the impact on the mind alone, the impact on one's mental health. There is no peace of mind because there's no peace in the community. And how do we expect these children and a lot of these gun-toting individuals? They have children, they have parents, they have siblings. And they want their children to grow up and to become somebody and to become productive citizens. But what they're doing in the community and even outside of the community is not helping. It's not helping. And no, we don't want more of you gun-toting individuals in our communities. It's not more of you we want. We want less of you. We want more of those who are forward thinking, who have a purpose. And yes, some of you need help. And we need to help you to find your purpose and to develop that sense of purpose. Nothing gives me more joy than to watch people going to work, to see people moving about. You see the construction workers, you see people who obviously work in offices, you see those who work in the retail trade, in the fast food business, etc., busy going about. There's nothing we love more than to see working people just getting on with life and taking care of business. It's a wonderful feeling to wake up and have a sense of purpose. I have work to do. I have work to go to, or I'm going to work from home. I have to take the children to whatever it is, but a sense of purpose to keep us focused, a sense of purpose to keep us focused. If we don't have that purpose or sense of purpose, then as my mother would ask some people, what purpose you serve, eh? Went by the wayside than that. And we not just come either, to put it in Jamaican terms, we not just come. We've been like this for a very long time. And we should be building on it. Instead of doing the moonwalk, the Michael Jackson moonwalk, which is walking backwards. No. Purpose. The YouTube feed continues to be interrupted intermittently. Wallace, the internet is a little shaky. Is it because is it raining? Because I know that happens sometimes, depending on the weather and the clouds and the impact on the satellites and so on and so forth. Maybe it's a bit of that. So we're having some interruptions, but at least it's still up. It hasn't been totally lost. Some more messages coming in. Norman Hines. Good afternoon to you, Norman Hines. Thank you very much for joining us and all the listeners. Straight out of St. Thomas, Jamaica, says Norman Hines. Welcome, Norman Hines. Shines for Life Law. Greetings to you too. Thank you. Good afternoon, Juliet Kosali Chang. How's everything at the pharmacy and elsewhere? Steve in Toronto, Canada, the policeman who died in the crash yesterday. Not saying that speed was a factor in this horrible event. However, these government convoys pass you like supersonic Concorde jets. Sometimes when them pass you, you only see a shadow. They need to slow down. Thank you very much for that message. And I can confirm everything that you've said, Steve, because let's just say from where we sit, we see it every day and multiple times a day sometimes. Vroom, 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 vroom. Yeah. We understand the security, for those of us who are security conscious, we understand the security component in terms of how you move through an area. And you depending on whether the area would have been swept before in security terms, and would determine that if you stop in that area, if it's safe to yeah, long story. Don't want to go into that now. But yes, Steve, you're right. You're right. And if the road is wet, it makes it even worse. So we just need. These are well trained people, by the way. We know, but sometimes it's really nerve wracking for some of us to see the movement. Anyway, thank you, Steve. Senery says, "Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm." To you too, Senery Sims. Fatia Rodriguez says, "Hola, señor Malcolm. ¿Cómo estás? Es bueno verte, hermano." Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, Fatia. And she's saying hi to Jennifer Stewart as well. And Norman Hines says, straight out of St. Thomas, Jamaica. Jacqueline Simmons says, good afternoon. Blessings. Herman Bowie Bailey says, hello, Mr. Malcolm. Happy Friday to you and everyone in Jamaica, especially Ocho Rios. Blessings always. Cherry Henry says, have a good and safe weekend. To you too, Cherry Henry. Herman Bowie Bailey says, looking real handsome with your haircut, Mr. Malcolm. You're very kind, Herman Bowie Bailey. Thank you very much. I've been sporting this hairstyle for a very long time, ever since I learned how to cut my own hair. Yes, I do it myself. Robledo Black, hello to my barber. I still have a barber, although I haven't been there. Ooh, David, how are you? David Banton at the Barber Center and Spa. And Charmaine Shortridge, good afternoon to you. Haven't forgotten you at all, but you know how it is. Yeah, one moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:15. Sipa Copper.
Sipa Copper?
Yes, Sipa Copper.
Sipa Copper what?
Sipa Copper Ital Jamaican Moringa tea bags. Sipa Copper Moringa, turmeric, vervine, neem, and guinea hen wheat tea bags today. Sipa Copper tea is available in supermarkets island-wide. So Sipa Copper today, you'll be happy you did. Distributed by Caramed Group Limited.
Join us for 4 days of unprecedented live and unremitting coverage of the J3 National Championships, all on www.onespotmedia.com pay-per-view. Thursday, June 24th to Sunday, June 27th, 2021. Sign up now to watch the National Championships on www.onespotmedia.com as our outstanding athletes vie for a spot on our journey to the Olympics. Sign up now and gain access to the season pass for only US $6.99 or day passes for US $3.99. Simply log into One Spot Media, select the pay-per-view tab, and buy your ticket. You may also download the One Spot Media app and watch on the go. Purchase your pay-per-view tickets today.
Fantasized that when you were young, prices were reasonable, politicians were noble, and children.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Que hora es en español? Son las 4:16. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:16. 现在几点了？4点16分. 16 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you done your homework yet? Yes, young people. We know it's a Friday, but you know what we always say? Have some fun doing the homework now so you can have some more fun over the weekend. How about that? As we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable, education makes you trainable, training makes you employable, and the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people, and those of you preparing for CSEC and CAPE exams, remember, proper preparation prevents poor performance. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. Robledo Black Pearl Michelle says, hello, Dervan. Lord of mercy, it's hot today. Happy Friday, both sides family. Thank you, Robledo Black Pearl Michelle. Faye Weller, good afternoon to you. Glenn Armitage says, what a great interview, in reference to our interview with Ambassador Earl Hemans earlier on. Anthony Ross, thank you very much for your message. Millicent Morris says, I love the wise word of the poem. Keep up your good work. Blessings. Thank you, Millicent. Jennifer Stewart from Q Road in Kencott says, Fatia Rodriguez, I'm not so well. Pain is mashing me up. Oh dear, sorry to hear that, Jennifer. Please, hope you get better soon. Paul in Philadelphia says, correct. A lot of missing opportunities in tourism and especially agriculture. East Portland does not have an all-inclusive hotel. There are hotels with optional meal plans, completely different from all-inclusive. Thank you, Paul, for your observations. Fatia Rodriguez says, oh no, Jennifer Stewart, so sorry to hear that, love. Hoping for a speedy recovery. You're in my prayers for sure. Thank you so much. I need it, says Jennifer. Sophia Nemard, good afternoon to you. Bernard Farquharson says, what's up, Mr. Malcolm and radio family? Tuning in from a rainy Detroit, Michigan. Blessings always. Stay dry in Detroit, Michigan. Bernard Farquharson. Golden Brown says, you have a captivating smile. Oh dear. You're very kind, Golden Brown. I'm sorry. Let me go to Miss Olive. I need a break after that message from Golden Brown. To Miss Olive. Over to you, Miss Activating Smile.
You don't even need I think you need something. You need a piece of cloth on your head. A piece of bandana.
What's happening?
Dervan,
It's great to hear from you, though. It's been a long time. You're on a sabbatical.
I know. I listen to the program every day, but I try to stay away from the phone because of my breathing problem.
Oh.
So,
How are you doing today?
Well, not too bad because this is my second call of the day. I called my daughter not too long ago, and I'm calling you now. I had an appointment at KPH. 2 appointments rather, one in the morning and one in the evening yesterday. So let me give you a quick call.
Yes.
Tomorrow rather, is the 50th anniversary of my second daughter's in-laws, Mr. Vincent and Mrs. Millicent Price, who resides over in America. They were given a surprise trip to Jamaica for the 50th anniversary.
Oh, sweet.
And they are now spread out. Some of them are Ochi.
Oh, am I detecting a hint of jealousy in how you said that a while ago?
that is how I do it with my in-laws. That's how we just make joke. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And they were so very grateful to come and visit me a few days ago. Surprised. I didn't even know they were coming here. Just to the car drive up, and my son-in-law hopped out, and there they came to see me.
Yes.
It was really, really a pleasant surprise.
Good.
Knowing Millicent, especially because Vincent is more on the low-key person.
Yeah.
But Millicent and me, we have a lot in common because we chat all the while. So I just want to wish them all that is good, continued blessings. And 50 years is not an easy feat.
Not at all.
You know what I mean? Not at all. 50 years. And they have such nice children. But one live in Jamaica, but the rest of them live overseas. And just want to wish them all that is good, and God bless them. Okay, Dervan?
Oh, thank you so much, Miss Olive.
As I said, I am so weak. Sometimes I can hardly walk from my room that is not far from the gate. I am out of breath. So I try to keep it as low key as possible.
Yes.
So that's where I am. And thanks to everybody who is thinking about me or who forget about me.
I'll forget about you, Miss Olive.
No, I'm just joking. Just joking. Yes, sir. So you be good. You have a blessed weekend. And you hang in there, my friend, because you're a pleasure to listen to. Even though I don't call.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Miss Olive.
Okay, sweetheart.
All
Okay,
the
my
best.
love. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. Fatia Rodriguez says, Mr. Dervan Malcolm, I'd like to shout out my mom, Vernice Levy in Mandeville. Hello to Vernice Levy in Mandeville, Manchester. Good to have you on board for both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Thank you so much for tuning in, and all the very best to you and yours. Vernice Levy in Mandeville, Manchester. Jennifer Stewart is conveying greetings to Miss Olive. Jennifer Stewart says, hello, Miss Olive. And no doubt Miss Olive is responding where she is at home right now. All right, here are a couple of stories quickly. The deposit refund scheme for plastic bottles now in place. That's not necessarily new, is it? Minister of Housing, Urban Renewal, Environment and Climate Change, Pernell Charles Jr. says the much anticipated deposit refund scheme for plastic bottles is now in place. He noted that the scheme, which will provide a cash refund to consumers who return their plastic bottles, will create employment opportunities, revenue generation, clean streets, and ultimately cleaner marine spaces. Depositors will be paid a minimum of $1 for each polyethylene terephthalate. Oh, I love these words. Polyethylene terephthalate. Polyethylene terephthalate. That's POLYETHYLENE. Terephthalate. 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 That's high density polyethylene bottle. So for each of these bottles delivered to recycling partners of Jamaica at the depots across the island, you'll get $1. So, well, it's back to buckle police again, as we say in Jamaican parlance. Back to the bottle police. Because if I can gather these plastic bottles, it's $1 per plastic bottle. So 10 plastic bottles, $10. And you can go up the line. 100 plastic bottles, $100. Hey, every mickle make a muckle, as we say in Jamaica. One cocoa full basket. And if you can gather all those bottles, take them to the depot, and you don't have to do the counting. They'll count them there, and then you get your cash. Yeah. By all means, collect the plastic bottles and go and pick up your cash. And when you would have finished consuming whatever you would have had from a plastic bottle, find a little area where you keep those, and at some point you drop them off. I think in some cases they pick them up as well. But yeah, there's another way to make some money. Why not? Because they need them. They need the bottles to be recycled. They need to recycle the bottles. So get as many of them as possible and collect some money. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Let's see. St. Lucia welcomes return of cruise lines. What is this? St. Lucia tourism officials today said the return of the Celebrity Millennium cruise liner to the island next Tuesday sets the tone for the gradual reintroduction of cruise tourism since the closure due to the coronavirus pandemic. So it looks like St. Lucia is going ahead of us then, because you know Jamaica is usually leading in these areas. Well, not everybody is rushing to lead with all that's been happening, but St. Lucia cruise shipping returns to St. Lucia starting Tuesday. Celebrity Millennium, with an estimated 400 passengers, will arrive in Port Castries, tentatively. And then Then let's see, Royal Caribbean Cruises will be back in St. Lucia come that period, the 13th of July to the 10th of August. So cruise shipping back with a bang. We did share this story of the resumption of cruise shipping. Was it last week? I think it was, yeah. Chauvin gets 22 and a half years in prison for George Floyd's death is another story trending. Former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin has been sentenced to 22 and a half years in prison for the murder of George Floyd, whose dying gasps under Chauvin's knee led to the biggest outcry against racial injustice in the U.S. in generations. The punishment handed out today fell short of the 30 years that prosecutors had requested. With good behavior, Chauvin, who's now 45, could be paroled after serving 2/3 of his sentence, or about 15 years. That's that. Delta variant is most transmissible identified so far. We've shared that on this program before. That's the word from the World Health Organization. CARICOM leaders to discuss proposal for 50% reduction in regional air travel taxes. There's something to take note of. Gaston Brown, the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, is to table a proposal today urging regional governments to support an initiative to significantly reduce the taxes for air travel in a bid to encourage intra-regional travel as the threat from the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic declines. And sadly, 2 more COVID-19 deaths, 68 new cases. More in a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:30.
The future is electric vehicles, and the future is already here.
We are Evergo, the largest and most sophisticated network of charging stations.
We have created a network to get you where you want, safely and reliably, moving Jamaica towards a sustainable future.
Go wherever you want, and Evergo will be very close, filling you with the desire to continue discovering your destination. Find out more at evergonet.com or Evergo_Jamaica on Instagram.
Connected forward.
One in. A hurricane we name. Are we rough? Whether we are man hurricane or woman hurricane. We want you know that. We come here for mash up building, blow down things and take life. Flood out place. We no ramp. We no respect no one. So no take no chance with we. Listen to Adprem and prepare. Hurricanes do happen, so be prepared. Yes, be prepared.
A message from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management.
Join us for 4 days of unprecedented live and unremitting coverage of the J3 National Championships, all on www.onespotmedia.com pay-per-view. Thursday, June 24th to Sunday, June 27th, 2021. Sign up now to watch the National Championships on www.onespotmedia.com as our outstanding athletes vie for a spot on our journey to the Olympics. Sign up now and gain access to the season pass for only US $6.99 or day passes for US $3.99. Simply log into One Spot Media, select the pay-per-view tab, and buy your ticket. You may also download the One Spot Media app and watch on the go. Purchase your pay-per-view tickets today.
Be careful whose advice you buy, but be patient with those who supply it. Advice is a form of nostalgia. Dispensing it is a way of fishing the past from the disposal, wiping it off, painting over the ugly parts, and recycling it for more than it's worth. But trust me, on the sunscreen.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5:28. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5h moins 28. Science, TDN le. Wu Dien cha ar shur ba fen. 28 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. Good time for us to continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Dr. Dunn in Skokie, Illinois. Oh no, I need to remember to call your son, Dr. Dunn. Jeez. Oh no, I think I did message him, or did I message him or called him to say I would, oh dear, sorry about that. So many, things to do. Sorry about that, Dr. Dunn. We'll please let's just let your son know that we are very keen in terms of featuring his work. But we'll talk off air, Dr. Dunn. So sorry about that. He did message me, and I think I replied to say I will get back to him in short order. I haven't done so yet. Not good. Anyway, Dr. Dunn says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. I noticed that the messaging for vaccine administration has changed. It appears as though individuals at the Ministry of Health have been listening to both sides. Keep up the good work. Continue to speak on the issues. Blessings. Well, we are humbled by your comments, Dr. Dunn, but don't think we can take credit for that. Maybe just coincidence. Oliver Masters says, my weekend is now made full, having heard my number one friend, Miss Olive, calling in. Now it's Mr. Raskava's turn to call in. They both know they are appreciated. Thank you very much, Oliver. Velta Wilson says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm and listeners. Good afternoon, Velta Wilson. Oh goodness, we're forgetting those people who are on WhatsApp. How could we? Oh dear, we're in trouble. Let's clear these WhatsApp messages. This one says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Blessings go out to you, your family, and also your staff. Our father, Mr. Clifford Fagan, who resides in Hayes, Clarendon, will be celebrating his 98th birthday on the 26th of June. Many happy returns go out to him from Walden, Bev, Lucille, Gloria, and the Ford family, and also many friends and family. How wonderful it would be for him to reach that landmark 100. Well, let's work and hope and pray that he gets there. 98 not out. Happy birthday when it comes tomorrow, Mr. Clifford Fagan. Happy birthday when it comes tomorrow. And well, you're almost at a significant milestone. 98 not out as of tomorrow, all things being well. You know what we always say. Right now at this stage, Clifford Fagan, you are seeing the ball, the cricket ball, to use the cricketing analogy. You're seeing the cricket ball as big as a breadfruit. So it means that's not your problem right now. You know where your off stump is, clearly, because nobody has knocked it over. No bowler has knocked over your off stump. But it wouldn't hurt to take your guard once again. Yeah, just to make sure. Take your guard and continue to play each ball on its merit and play in the V. Yes, long off, long on. In the V. Mid off, mid on. Those regions, yeah. In the V. And just continue to be focused. And you will get there and even go beyond the century. All the best. Take care. Ricardo, yes, we have seen your messages. Thank you very much. Guardian Angel says, hello, Malcolm. Peace be upon this interview. Malcolm is a most far-reaching expose of the real and tangible opportunities through linkages and networking, especially with the diaspora. It is really amazing how Mr. Earl Hemans has simplified, to our shame, how we have retarded our people's ascendancy through enterprise entrepreneurship by excluding them from participation in an equitable way the indigenous resources of Jamaica. Congratulations, Malcolm. Excellent interview, Guardian Angel. Thank you very much, Guardian Angel, for your WhatsApp message. All the very best. All the very best to you. And let's see. Let's go to the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. Good day, Dervan. Why are there so many public transport vehicles with heavily tinted windows? That should never be allowed, seeing we have so many wolves in sheep clothing in this country. I think I heard some time back that the authorities were not allowing heavily tinted windows on vehicles. Do we go backwards on this island? Well, good question. I remember that drive with respect to dark tints on public transport vehicles or public passenger vehicles. I think Radcliffe Lewis was in charge of traffic at the time. And not sure if that situation still holds, or was that just thrown out? Not sure. Would need to find out. There's a forum coming up. Maybe we can use the opportunity of that forum. All things being well, we should be moderating a forum on Monday. And that forum will be on road safety. Road safety, now more than ever. That's the theme. Road safety, now more than ever. It's organized by Grinnell's Driving School. It's a Zoom discussion on road safety, enforcing the rules of the road, reducing motorcycle crashes, driver's license testing standards. It takes place on Monday, the 29th of June, 10 o'clock in the morning. And the meeting code, we're going to post it. We're going to post it on our social media pages, so you can get ready for that. The discussions will feature Paula Fletcher, the Executive Director of the National Road Safety Council, Kenute Hare, Director of the Island Traffic Authority, Orville Johnson, Executive Director of the Insurance Association of Jamaica, Dr. Paris Leo-Ayi, Director, Mona Geoinformatics Institute, ACP Gary McKenzie of PSTEB, the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch of the JCF, Tariq Kidu, founder of BTB Moto Mission, Alfonso Grenell himself, Managing Director of Grenell's Driving School, and I'm humbled to have been asked to moderate that discussion. Why? Because why is it happening now? Well, we've been reminding you all month that June is Road Safety Awareness Month. That was designated by the Jamaica Gasoline Retailers Association many years ago. So there's an event worth zooming in on. That's Monday at 10 o'clock. And we'll post the details online. Lloyd in Philadelphia is greeting us. Hello, Lloyd. Assuming you're in Philadelphia, we know you travel all over the United States doing deliveries for Amazon. You continue to be safe on those roads, Lloyd. All the very best. And just before we go to the break, let's update you quickly. Oh, there's a disturbing story that I saw. Man convicted of sex crime, 15-year-old carrying twins. A man who is believed to have impregnated a minor after a judge ordered him to stay away from her, has been convicted on multiple child sex charges. The 15-year-old victim is reportedly pregnant with twins. The 15-year-old, the poor loins of this 15-year-old, the 15-year-old victim is reportedly pregnant with twins. What is it with us? What is it? What? Why are we preying, Preying? Why are we preying on these innocent children? Oh boy. We need to do better than this. We naturally have more females than males in Jamaica. So the males in this country are not short of females in their age group. They're not short of females in their age group. Jamaica's population has been this way for a long time. We have more females than males in Jamaica. So the Jamaican male is not short of females. The male adult, the Jamaican adult male is not short of potential companions, because we have more than enough females in this country. Why can't why do we have to go to the underaged? Why? Come on, man. Well, we hope the courts will take care of that. Goodness.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45. Win big this summer. Enter the Gleaner Star Luxurious Escape competition. Win the grand prize of 2 weekends for two at an all-inclusive hotel plus $25,000 in groceries, weekly cash prizes, and more. Buy a printed copy of the Gleaner Star. Enter the serial number at the front page by texting 876-322-7967 or online at gleanerluxury.com. Competition runs from June 6 to July 10, 2021. See the Gleaner and the Star for details. Your luxurious escape awaits.
Greatest instrument you'll ever own. Dance. Even if you have nowhere to do it but in your own living room. Read the directions, even if you don't follow them. Do not read beauty magazines. They will only make you feel ugly. Get to know your parents. You never know when they'll be gone for good. Be nice to your siblings. They're your best link to your past and the people most likely to stick with you in the future.
Que hora es en español? Son las 5:14. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5:14. 现在地点了5点下14分. 14 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned into both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? Velta Wilson says the males do not want to work and take care of the adult females. They prey on the children and give them phone cards and box food money. It's a shame. A shame indeed, Velta Wilson. A shame indeed. Let's see. Rose McIntosh in London says, love you, Miss Olive. Wish you all the best. Kevin Dunk says, nothing like cruise ship food. Buffet. I love it. Well, I guess you'll be cruising to St. Lucia then, Kevin Dunk. Or will you? Mikey Jarrett in Brooklyn, New York says, good afternoon. Blessings. Blessings to you too, Mikey Jarrett. Thank you very much for tuning in. All the very best. Please continue to be safe and keep in touch with us here on your program, both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. The opposition spokesman on finance is suggesting that unclaimed bank balances be used to fund small businesses, not for the first time, but that it's being put out there. We really should find a useful purpose for those unclaimed bank balances. No question about that. Anglican priests convicted killers say they met. Oh goodness. Oh dear. On a particular website. Oh dear. Two men who pleaded guilty to murdering Anglican priest Father Larius Lewis. Apparently, they claim in court that they met him on a particular website. Let's just say, and and there was a bit of jealousy in the mix there, and so on. And whoa. Webby opens State of the Nation debate today. The House of Representatives concluded its sectoral debate at Gordon House last week, and today the Senate will commence its State of the Nation debate. Would love to hear Mr. Webby's presentation. Well, we'll perhaps have to catch it on PBCJ or one of those channels. Yeah, let's see about that. Let's see about that. Let's see about that. Some other stories. Joy and sorrow amid boy's dramatic rescue. Mother's death. 3 Jamaicans in West Indies women's side for Pakistan T20s. Is this another story? What? Father reportedly shot by son in Portmore. So we have had father shooting son. Now son shooting father. I think we're going to turn off the news apps. Yeah, can we call in the psychiatrists and the psychologists and the mental health experts and the social workers, the sociologists, etc. So many of our people need help. A lot of help, one way or another. A lot of help. Let's continue though with more on your program, both sides of the story. Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. For those who are into motor vehicles, here's one to take you into the weekend. Top 10 most reliable cars and SUVs of 2021. Top 10 most reliable cars and SUVs of 2021. Are you ready for this? Let's bring up the information. Number 10, Mazda CX-5. As for the overall score among 26 rated brands, Mazda earned the highest. This is due in part to what Consumer Reports called an iterative approach to vehicle redesign, ITERATIVE, relating to or involving iteration, especially of a mathematical or computational process. So the Mazda CX-5 is in the top 10. It's in 10th position for the overall score among 26 rated brands. Mazda earned the highest. This is due in part to what Consumer Reports called an iterative approach to vehicle redesign. Let's move on. Number 9, Audi, the Audi A4. And boy, how things have changed. Jamaica is now Audi country. That's what happens when the dealers in Jamaica are a part of the ATL group. Because remember, Sandals is a part of the ATL group. And the late Butch Stewart and his family, they know how to build a brand and cause a brand to be attractive. And they did that for Audi in Jamaica. The Audi was not that popular in Jamaica until Gordon Butch Stewart and his team went to town on the Audi brand. So in 9th place, Audi A4. Ever since the late 90s, the Audi A4 has remained one of the best luxury sedans on the market. The A4 has never had issues with dependability, even in its early years. So that's number 9. Let's move down the line and go to number 8, the Audi A5. The Audi A5. Based on the A4, the A5's power, so it's Audi again. The A5's power comes from the same 2.0-liter turbo 4-cylinder engine matched to a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission. Hello. That's the Audi A5 for you. That's in 8th place. And let's go to number 7, Hyundai Kona. Hyundai Kona. And Hyundai is expanding. This is another brand that has been going places. It's been growing, and it's to the point where they have this massive headquarters now on Oxford Road. You can see it now. They have removed the fencing, and you can see it. Hyundai. So the Hyundai Kona is in 7th place. The 2021 Hyundai, Hyundai, Hyundai. The Hyundai Kona has a lot going for it, making it one of the most reliable vehicles. It's easy to drive, boasts a comfortable interior, and has an above average predicted reliability rating. Let's move on to number 6. We're looking at the top 10 most reliable cars and SUVs of 2021. Number 6, the Toyota. Toyota had to be in there. I mean, really. The Toyota Prius Prime. The Toyota Prius Prime. It's a plug-in Prius that can usually drive for about 23 miles on electricity only. However, in colder weather and when quick acceleration is needed, the gas engine tends to start up. The Toyota Prius Prime is in 6th place. Let's move on. In 5th position for the top 10 most reliable cars and SUVs of 2021, the Honda HR-V. The Honda HR-V. The HR-V has a versatile cargo-friendly rear seat that flips up or folds down flat and low, which is based on the recently discontinued Fit Subcompact. And to the dealers who may or may not be listening, and those who work with the dealers in Jamaica, the motor vehicle dealers, don't be surprised if you see a spike in purchases this weekend or people checking out these vehicles that you have here in Jamaica. Just remind whoever is cutting these deals that this is where it came from. In terms of, no, but we're not the ones who ranked these brands, these make vehicles. It's a website called All Time Lists. All Time Lists. ALLTIMELISTS.com. The Lexus GX is in 4th place. The GX 460 is a very quiet and quick vehicle. Surprisingly, it is highly capable of off-road and adept at towing a 6,500-pound load. Farmers, perhaps, and industrialists, the 4.6 liter V8 engine and 6-speed automatic make for a slick powertrain. Time is running out. Quickly. Let's go to number 3, the Buick Encore. The Buick has an above average predicted reliability rating and an upscale cabin. That's as much as we can say because time is running out. Let's go quickly. That's number 3. Number 2 is the Lexus NX. The NX is a pleasant and compact luxury SUV. Handling is responsive and the ride is firm, plus the cabin is quieter than most. And finally, the number one. Oops, what did I do? I mean, really? Come on, man. What are you doing? What are you doing, young man? Now you went back and you have to go forward again. Jeez. Your finger, a little too quick. Come on, we need to hurriedly get to the number one. Everybody wants to know who is in the number 1 position. Quickly. Time is almost upon us. Jeez, come on. Quick. 3, 2, let's come to number 1. Number 1 is the Toyota Prius. The Toyota Prius is number 1. We're out of time. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Adrian Reed, for doing technical and production duties. Thanks to our callers, those who have texted us, etc., our listeners, you, our faithful listeners at home and abroad, for making it both sides of the story. All things being well, both sides of the story returns Monday afternoon, 2 to 5. In the meantime, if you can, we invite you to join us in the morning at 6 on the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online. Have a peaceful and safe weekend. Please take care.
Sunscreen.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
News, comprehensive, powerful, and credible.
Power 106 FM now presents a simulcast of Radio Jamaica's news at 5.
Afternoon, I am Dervan Gordon. Coming up in the news segment of Beyond the Headlines, today, Friday, June 25, 2021. COVID-19 vaccination program again suspended as the health minister grapples with dwindling supplies of the medicine. Security forces making preparations for phased reopening of the entertainment sector. Opposition Senator wants JPS to forego a rate increase at this time. U.S. ex-police officer convicted of murdering American George Floyd sentenced to 22 years, 6 months in jail. And business news. Creditors of Fly Jamaica Airways meet to discuss bankruptcy proceedings.